I take it you're all sorted now with your computer and everything, Drac?
Yeah, I got well, I actually got some parts coming in. I'm gonna make a new one, but yeah, I got one up and running right now.
Okay.
I got actual internet too. I'm not using my phone no more. Yeah. It's all coming together.
Wow. Don't say that.
Hello there.
How you been?
Good. Long time no see. How about you guys?
Same.
Yep, tick by. But I had 2 unfinished campaigns, unfortunately. So I'm kind of looking forward to this one and my other one. I mean, I'm always looking forward to this one because this one's just great. It's funny how you always want to do like other stuff, but coming back to just a stereotypical fantasy hero saves the world adventure is actually quite nice.
That's just how it is. I like playing all kind of other stuff. I always go back to the same game after when I've been playing for like 10 years. That's how it is.
Because I mean, like when I started this one, it literally I was like, I just want a really bog standard fantasy hero saves the world thing because I just hadn't done it or been in one for ages. But it's just nice to have one in the background to come back to.
Yeah. I quite like the stuff that you're offering. Blooded Invasion. I was thinking about joining some of those, but unfortunately I don't have time. But it's always nice to come back to this fantasy, and I really think that this shared universe saga thing is just great. Yeah, good to come back to.
Oh, I mean, Alan, Nightmare's brother, was because he was listening to all the old ones, and he's like, "You're going to have to do like a primer video or something for the start of this one, just to like fill in everything that's going on, because there just seems to be all this stuff that he's have done in the background and done in previous campaigns that I just don't know about."
Yeah, I felt that way too when I first when I first joined it. You talking about all the other stuff that's already been done. I was like, oh shit, it seems like I missed a bunch.
Yeah, I mean that's just the whole reason why I started recording sessions, because we did 3 like campaign stretches of this, and I was like, fuck, we need to get like a recording of this so I can like listen to them sometime in the future. There's some good stuff, man, that I just felt like we're missing out on.
Hello.
Hey man, how you doing?
Not too bad. Still need to get a headset, so I'll order it this week.
We just need someone who's good at art or animation to go back through and find the best moments to animate.
That's a lot of material to troll through though as well, apart from anything else. Right, Bird has been on Discord before anyone. Why is he not in here?
I'm on Discord all the time. Doesn't mean I'm actually on Discord though.
We'll never forget. Durham.
Sorry for being a pain. I feel like previously though I've had something to start with, you know. It's just I can't think of fucking anything.
So the basic premise I'm thinking this time is post the last campaign, Drac, you were involved in a kind of redemption arc of sorts, helping them get the tablet and stuff. So
Right.
I'm thinking, you know, they're talking about the tablets, you help find one of them, and you're like, well, I'm from an organisation that specialises in trinkets like this, and I also know of a rival organisation that also specialise in stealing stuff. It's very likely one or both of us have at least some information about one of these tablets, if not possessing one somewhere within the organisation. So I'm thinking you probably, you know, go to speak to one of the higher ups in the rebellion, and you know, come forward with this kind of information, and they hook you up with a couple of people to help you go south back to your homeland, and just visit your home clan, and kind of just dig for information and see where it takes you, and see if you can track down this other ninja clan that you know about, and if perhaps they're holding one of the tablets or have information about it. That sounds like a premise that everyone can kind of get on board with.
Sounds like a good idea to me.
Yeah, sounds fine to me.
Okay, so we're obviously going to have Drac then, and how are you wanting to do Drac? Are you just going to like take off from where you were before, or are you giving him a kind of a revamp?
I kind of want to do something, maybe add something in with the whole like demon thing, but otherwise I'm leaving him the way he is.
Okay, cool. Just sort of develop that side of him a little bit.
Yeah. Because like you showed him his spider. Like if he was a demon, he'd be like a fucking spider. So like maybe do something with that.
Sure, that sounds cool. And are you thinking for his sort of arc in this one, it's just kind of furthering that redemption thing of him coming around to being more of a good guy?
Yes, definitely.
I'll need to review how we left off with him in the last one, because I'm fuzzy on the details because it was that long ago now.
Yeah, I know. I was looking for a character sheet. I couldn't find one. I was like, I'm gonna have to.
I probably have a character sheet somewhere.
It's probably on the G drive.
Yeah, I'll have it saved if not. I think 'cause I usually do that in backup. Okay, so he's pretty straightforward. That's simple. So you'll go see. We'll do a scene when we start it next time, where you're going to meeting Professor Totno, who's kind of like holding the existing tablets that have been gathered, and he can like fill you in, and he'll hook you up with, I'm thinking, Nightbear's character. So who is it you're thinking of doing Nightbear?
So I'm Shiki Abe. My clan is currently in like a sort of exile because we used to be the guardians of the tablet that we're searching for, and we've essentially been like in scorn since the tablet was stolen generations ago.
So
the whole clan's like
the one thing
Yeah,
after
sure.
that was this, like, I was thinking more like he's going there to just like find out. He doesn't know for certain which tablet it is he's going to uncover.
I was going to suggest that we have a lead on the tab. That's the reason my character's there. So we have a lead on this tablet, but at least I'm the one who's like affiliated with it to an extent because because we're a bunch of Omnioji, or spirit summoners and demon hunters.
So which tablet was it you were thinking of? Because I know which tablet I was thinking of it being.
It's the conjuration.
That's not the one I was thinking of using.
Well, maybe the information's wrong, and I think it's that tablet, and I'm totally wrong.
Which could work as well. I mean, you could go a bunch of ways with this, but maybe he's like hooked you up with this guy, and maybe you know of like the ninja clans and stuff, and you're like, oh, these bastards stole it from us years ago. So
They could have easily been the ones who stole it from us, and I'm just
yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe it turns out they weren't the ones, and you just thought they were.
Yeah.
Or maybe they did,
Exactly.
and maybe we'll find 2 tablets in this campaign, actually.
Well, this tablet was, it's been gone for a few generations now. I wasn't even born when it was stolen.
Yeah, we
It
could
could just
actually,
be a.
we could very much have the possibility of 2 of them turning up, actually.
What
I'm
is
okay
it?
with
Just
that.
a very similar artifact that just happens to look like a tablet.
There's a lot of ways you could go with stuff, man.
Exactly.
His premise isn't wrong. Like he just got wind that we're maybe looking for a tablet, so he's just maybe it's the one he wants, maybe it's not. You don't know.
Yeah, and it might end up being the basis for like the next campaign or something even.
Well, most of my clan's been summoned away to fight the orc army, so it's like just a few of the younger, less experienced ones are like, go do the family business while the experts are actually like drafted into war.
And at the beginning, so you'll be in like the Vosterlands with Professor Topnu and the rebellion, and that's where they're going to hook you up with Drakan Does that suit you okay?
Yep.
And then the two of you will be the ones
Yep.
basically spearheading it, because you will get on the ship. Well, it depends what Bird's character is, but you will get on the ship. You've got the backing of the rebellion, and they'll, send you off down south to do whatever you need to do. And
Probably
then-
went to see the professor because he's been he's collecting the tablets, he's holding them, and I was just sitting there checking see if he's had our tablet, and it's like, no, dang it, not got our one yet.
Yeah, probably under the pretense of lending knowledge and stuff like that as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
not just knocking on his door like, "Hey, I heard you got some tablets."
No, it's like we requested a visit and stuff like that. It's like all formal.
Yeah. It's kind of an emissary of sorts.
Hey, I heard you
Yeah.
might have what I'm looking for.
Well, have I got a deal for you?
So, in view of not having our tablet, we will offer our services until our tablet has been recovered. That's my duty.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine you're up there hanging around because, hey, if all the tablets have been collected, this would be a good opportunity to maybe just pick yours up if it shows up. And then this shady ninja-looking character shows up and starts talking about how there might be a tablet in the southern continent, and that's really when your ears pick up. Okay, so I mean, that ties in pretty well together. And then, Phil, are you bringing back Master Fee, or are you going with someone else?
Well, yeah, I was thinking about picking up Master Fee again.
That's great. I've actually already thought of a few ways we can tie all these three guys in together quite easily as well. So we're thinking, because when we left him off before, it was in the cube, and I don't remember the exact details of what happened, but I'd written down maybe he'd just been like beaten kind of bloody and senseless in the arena. And we can maybe do like an intro scene where we pick up like under the arena where he's been, half-heartedly attended to by people to try and keep you alive. Which involves just like throwing you on Sorry, there you go.
Well, yeah, I was thinking something similar. Either he's fighting in the arena or he's trying to escape the arena. Well, his background story the last time was he grew up in a peaceful village, quite reclusive in the mountains. Then his whole village ended up destroyed and killed. He's also practicing this ancient martial arts technique. Now he's the only one that knows the technique, and that's why he's Master Fee. Well, and we split it up in the cube, so I presume that he was caught, enslaved, and I imagine him as enslaved I don't know, gladiator. He has a branded scar on his cheek, so we can discuss what's the story with him.
Yeah, so I was thinking, like you just said, like he's fighting in the gladiator arena. We see him and he's all kind of like broken and bloody because, they don't treat you very well and they just keep shoving you in again and again. But he's a great fighter and he lasts a long time. So they don't immediately just like kill him off and throw him for the scrap heap. You pull you downstairs, throw you on a pile of hay and wash you with water and just kind of hope, or leave you there to see if you're going to heal or not. And then through whatever kind of circumstances happen, you end up in this kind of slaver caravan with Alex's character that I was thinking.
Yeah, could be. It's possible. I was thinking the only problem I have when I was thinking about his involvement in gladiator fights is that he's too pure-hearted to fight other slaves. So I imagine they would throw him in the pit with the beasts or some minotaurs or some bad guys, because I don't think the character like Fee would fight other slavers who are forced to fight him.
But I mean, maybe that's how you ended up broken and bloody, because other slaves aren't so picky. So they throw you in with them, and you're like, I'm not fighting these innocent guys, and they just beat on you. But you're skilled enough to, like, you know, take the blows and defend yourself without causing harm to them, kind of thing. But, you know, that's to your disadvantage, and eventually you're just so beaten that that's when they drag you out.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they're like, hey, you know, we thought this kid could fight, but he's just refusing to. And now he's all beaten and broken, so let's just throw him to the slavers. And that's when Alex's character, the Minotaur, kind of encounters you. If that suits you, Alex.
Yeah.
And so, Alex, what do you kind of think of your character, Minotaur?
Yeah, he's just-
Minotaur?
Yeah, he's just a minotaur who decided that 3 months is long enough without getting paid, that he's just gonna steal some slaves and go look for treasure.
What a surprising character arc.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was asking, so you were thinking the Minotaurs are just a kind of warrior culture. I wrote a big, or not big paragraph, I wrote a paragraph about how I was kind of imagining the Minotaurs, you know, and how they've ended up being the kind of muscle for all these slaver gangs, despite the fact they have like a long and rich history themselves. Did you have a lot of kind of preconceived ideas about the Minotaur background, or are you focusing more on just like the current character?
I was thinking more like kind of like a warrior culture, like whoever challenges the leader of a tribe and then wins becomes the new leader.
Yeah, so it's all about like strength and martial prowess.
Yeah, and then just if you beat someone, you have to kill them so they don't suffer the loss of honor from surviving a battle.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, if you've just got a kind of loose idea, that sort of fits into what I was thinking. And I'll maybe just go into a bit more detail on it or something. And then let you flesh out, you know, the bits of how that's evolved into like what they're like now. Because I like the idea that they're like a really ancient kind of culture. That were like the original, or one of the original inhabitants of this continent. You know, they were here long before the humans. They were here back when the goblins used to be wizards and all that kind of stuff. And they have the viewpoint now that humans are just like, you know, visitors to this land, and eventually they'll leave. So for now, users are just like happy to take their money.
Sounds like a good idea. That sounds good with what his drive is.
Okay, I'll need to figure out how you and Fee meet up with the other two, but I believe there is where is it? The Nightcross, which is kind of like a pirate kingdom, almost bandit kingdom, and it's where the sorcerer Elamic first kind of like, after he like came in with his army, it was like one of the first places he sort of like took control of, but it's just full of bandits and pirates and vagabonds anyway, so. You know, it sort of kind of rules itself. Just nominally, he's kind of in charge of it. And it's got like a busy trade port for the pirates and that kind of stuff. So probably as they are sailing south, and you guys are traveling west, these will probably like come across each other somewhere in that region, I'm thinking. Because obviously there's a lot of shenanigans you can put up in a pirate kingdom.
I was thinking something. The reason why would they send slaves from the cube towards the west? Maybe Amlik is looking for slaves for some kind of ritual or something. So he's massing the amount of slaves in the Nightcross.
Yep, that makes sense. I've established when we played before that, you know, there's a big slave economy in this continent, so it's very common sort of practice to cart people all across the place for wherever they're going to sell them. I think we did have He was actually collecting them in the previous campaign as part of the ritual to summon his army. So yeah, I mean, there's probably still people like bringing slaves over to sell them because, you know, they heard that slaves were getting bought there in large quantities.
Isn't that the one though that Draken's other character sacrificed himself to stop?
No, I've only ever had one character.
Or was it the one where
It was the one where he inadvertently was used to open the portal.
Yes,
Oh,
that
okay.
did happen.
Almost the opposite.
Well, greed. There's a big part of greed in that.
And you guys kind of saw a version of that when you were in the demon realm, because you actually saw the part of him that was in the demon realm when it happened. And all the demons crossing through. Or your other characters did, at least. Yeah, so I mean, for Drakan to go back through Necros and kind of stuff is, and going so near the pit where all this went down is going to be a thing as well. Yeah. So the campaign will probably be going to Nightcross and you'll meet up. And then from there, you'll have to make your travel all the way down to where Drakan's clan is housed, which is in the Merillic Caliphate. I don't think we've established much about there, apart from they're quite civilized. They're great traders, and it's quite a wealthy, prosperous sort of nation. And then from there, you'll have to like gather information. You have to speak to your clan members and find out what's going on, and see if you can track down where this other clan is. I mean, you'll know the rough area where they're supposed to be based, but you don't know the particulars, and it's a large area. So once you're down south in the Merillic, it'll just be like a fact-finding mission. To find out your sort of final destination, how to get there, as well as stuff that happens in between on the way. So I guess the campaign story will sort of be in two parts. First part going down there, and then the second part once you find out where you need to go to the second part and track down the tablet itself. Or two tablets, depending what it is. Any of
You
this...
get to play detective and do fantasy work.
A little bit. I'm thinking, yeah, I got some strong ideas about your clan and stuff. Because imagine a clandestine organization like that. There's a lot of inner politics shifting things around. And you've been away for a while as well.
Yeah, but just like any organization, there's going to be corruption and all that, and grease and palms, and
yeah, power plays and that kind of stuff. I mean, you're all built around stealing shit. So
yeah, we kind of
there's going to be a lot of kind of stealing shit that other people have stolen, and then getting back at them for that and such.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and then before I forget, my character also has a companion.
Okay.
It's a goblin personal chef who's probably trying to kill Rassiloro the Minotaur, but it's just failing every time.
So someone that's your chef that doesn't want to be your chef.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could have like poison resistance, and he's constantly trying to poison you.
I figured that would all just be covered under like endurance or something.
Oh no, it's like you can take the trait like immune to poison or poison resistance. It's because you're just eating poison for so long.
You've actually progressively helping him by becoming immune to more things.
Just making him stronger, yeah. Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of blank spaces and shit on this map still. So there's a lot of room for us to kind of like just fill in a bunch of that as we go along as well. And since a couple of your characters are from this, well, most of your characters are from this continent, we can use like your backgrounds and fireside chats and stuff like that to flesh it out as well and add in things. Because the main part was we had like the slave trade going on, the barbarians that live in the desert. There's an insect race that kind of like harvest people as well to the like north end of the desert. There was the I can't remember how
So
many.
me taking a fear of bugs is not a good idea.
Yeah, well, they're a whole insect race of like inhumanoid slavers. The cube was like
Yeah,
a big.
fear of bugs.
The cube was just like a big slave market. There was I can't remember how many mercenary companies, but there's a bunch of like main mercenary companies. The biggest one being the Golden Boys. And then Kingdom of Omkeen was the place that quite advanced, and they have gunpowder and stuff like that. The Riverlands, we had home to what they call it, halflings. And then there's a Kingdom of Messiah, which is like the southern elves, which are different to the existing elves that we've encountered. In the middle, which we didn't really do much
Is that
detail on.
halfling Finnegan alive?
Yeah, he found his brother in that campaign, and because the insects had taken him prisoner, the scarabs. But yeah, they found him alive. I can't remember what they were doing to the humans. I think they were just like milking them or something. Yeah, there's a lot of blank space here to fill in. And I think all these islands in the sort of northwest here, I think that was where Croaker was from, right? Because they're kind of tropical islands.
I thought these islands were the Elven Islands that were in between the two continents.
No, they're on the southern map of the northern continent.
Yeah,
that.
I
The
I
island.
was always sort of towards the east of the southern continent, but sort of around the southern continent, the tropical islands that the croaker comes from.
Yeah, I mean, you can see all the islands and stuff on the map on the Roll20.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
ones
I've
north
not
of us.
seen the southern map, so
Well, it's open. It's on there now. If you look at 120.
Yeah, and I'd posted it up further up in the Discord as well, I think. Oh, and then Northgate, which is an island which is also kind of traders. But they're quite a small nation. But yeah, we really hadn't done an awful lot of detail in this area. The Death Marches was just like a big open salt plain.
I'm guessing the Minotaur tribes just kind of wander around the whole continent.
Yeah, I'm thinking they're spread out. They were the one of the natural inhabitants of this land, especially all this sort of Death Marches desert sort of area. If you're like a big nomadic people, you probably like migrated around there. I mean, you're going to have a goblin character, but I was thinking the ancient goblins, the Alcubrid, is one of their sort of homelands. They're not what they used to be. They're just scattered little groups all over the place now, but they used to be like a mighty, powerful kingdom. And they had like advanced gunpowder technology and stuff like that.
Now they're just more prone to blow themselves up than anyone else.
Yeah, I mean, some of them now are kind of like wizards and mages and stuff, but yeah, they're kind of like the mentors. They just, they're scattered around the place and they end up being hired for bandit gangs and mercenary companies and stuff like that. Any of this stir anything in you, bird?
I'm not really sure what I'd go with. Like we've got, I guess, Dex user, and I can possibly Master Fee. We've got Mage Boy, GK Abbey. We've got strong Minotaur Man. Like, I guess another like Castaway type character would be good, but I don't really know what I would go with.
I mean, if you look at traditional archetypes, what's not there is like a bard or a diplomat, charisma type kind of character. Or a druid type kind of character.
a leader or a planner type.
Yeah, the brains of the operation. Although, arguably, Drakan is brains of operation as well.
just deals-
Or a
I
scout
just
type
deal
role, but
stuff.
Drakan's kind of that as well.
Me
Yeah,
playing a
I'm more
charismatic character.
I'm more scout steely, not so much planning.
You could be some kind of abominable monster.
Sorry, Bird, what'd you say?
Me playing a charisma of a brainy character, damn.
Well, you're quite thoughtful about your actions and stuff. You could be like
Feel
a,
like-
you could be a kind
Possibly go
of
wrong.
calm, considered sort of guy.
I don't know about Cam, I'd say more hesitant.
Cautious then.
I should get a natural +1 on careful.
Or you could be a
Yeah.
swashbuckling, charming pirate character from the Nightcross.
There's no problem with having two or something, or
Yeah,
something that's close.
totally. I'm just
I
thinking
got
if you're trying to fill a hole.
I got a great idea for you, Bird. You could be a down on his luck goblin chef who's trying to kill
my
his current
God.
employer.
Probably not.
You could be anyone traveling inside of the caged caravan with me.
That's true. You could be one of the insect scarabs. Just totally alien.
See, I had reason at some point to make D&D characters, like actually in D&D, and one of them that I made was, I think they'll call like Fikeen? The insect boys in that anyway. But I made one of them that was not at all like one of them in build.
Uh-huh.
It's like a monstrous, like barbarian insect guy. But I think that's kind of overlapping with Minotaur in terms of class. I think I'd probably go with something else. Like, yeah, I'll try and think of something.
Swashbuckling, seduction-based pirate, as you're calling.
Well, I mean, we could go with another strong character. Mine is just kind of like a lot of ranged options.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to
it's,
matter. Like, sorry.
Sorry, I was just going to say, it's a character I came up with in a different system and in the past, so it's not like I wasn't particularly like, yeah, I should play that. I just mean I have made an insect character previously, but
Yeah. I mean, you don't need to be like strictly totally different from anyone else for roles. I'm more interested in, the characters themselves and their motivations and their backgrounds and how they interact with each other that way. The sort of covering the mechanical aspects is, it's not the focus of things. It's all about how much everybody doesn't trust Drakan.
Yeah, that's how they usually go for me.
I think that's actually part of the reason I don't especially like having like one face character. Because I feel like different characters in different situations should be the face,
Sure. Yeah, depending on who they're interacting with. But you might have one character who's a little more, experience. I mean, you could choose like an area of
Yeah, like
that.
there'll probably be someone who is better at dealing with certain types of people, and
Yeah.
that happens to be the majority of people in the area, whatever.
Or just make him seduction based.
We already had
Seduction-based spy pirate.
the seduction-based guy last time.
It went
I
so
can
well
hold
though.
a candle.
We had Ricardo, didn't we?
Yes. Ricardo and a succubus and the oblivious Durodan.
Oh, that was so much fun. Those plots. I'll go get once. The church with the orgies. Oh, God.
Wait, did everyone's characters survive that one except mine?
Oh no, everybody essentially died at the end except Duradam and Drakan.
I mean, Durdan will never die because there's like hundreds of them now.
Yeah. So he died and became hundreds. Everyone else just died of some like of circumstances. They all survived the encounter but died like shortly after.
Well, Drac then, obviously. Although he might die this time, so still we see.
Yeah, Drac didn't die because he never got involved in the final encounter.
Yeah, PC cast on me.
Is that what happened?
So
I
far,
can't even remember.
whoever was traveling with Drak ended up dead. Is
Yeah,
Drak
come in
bringing
the new
misfortune to the others?
Well, he is a demon.
So I wasn't going to change anything about the system because I don't think we had any issues with it last time, right?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so it'll just be the same as it was the last couple of times. And if we need to tweak anything during the course, we can just do that. So, I mean, the same sheets and that should be there with the same outlines for how to build the character. And if I remember right, that should still be pinned in Discord.
It's not, but the link to the G drive is.
Is that just for the directory? No, it's not. I shall grab the one for the directory. I got way too many folders here.
What would it be to be careful but not clever? Would that just be
Yeah,
cautious?
you can be careful but not clever because you could be a cautious person, but you're not like an intellectual. You're just like very paranoid and cautious.
Does that G drive link work for everyone?
It worked for me, but that just might be because it's already shared with me.
G drive.
Yeah, it works.
Should work
Yeah.
for anyone that's got a link.
Yeah, worked for me.
Okay, well, it's pinned in.
Minotaur is badass.
Should be able to find the old character sheets in there as well, I think, somewhere.
What level are we starting at?
1?
No, I mean by as in like peasant, adventurer, or hero.
Oh, adventurer, I would think.
Okay.
I guess Master Fee and Drac, if you wanted to, you could maybe start as hero, since your characters have been there before. I don't think it'll make much difference when it comes to actually dealing with things. Because if we come back with Tact and Gildus and Jeff at some point, they're not going to be starting at the beginning again.
Sounds like a plan to me.
I thought I coloured in some of these islands. Because there was a Hydra in one of them. In one of the games. I need to have a look at my other maps. I've got so many versions of them. There should also be a document somewhere, Bird, that's got like all the races and factions in it as well, if you need to scour that for ideas.
That's the one that you had pinned already into
Right.
the
Oh,
document.
the primer thing? Yeah. Oh, and just to check, everyone's okay with recording and uploading it again, yeah?
Totally fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Could be if I come up with anything.
I got a great idea for you, Bird. You could be a dragon who's disguised as a person.
That's level 1 deck.
You just seem weak. You just playing your character.
The idea of like a strong person intentionally becoming weak is kind of funny, but
Is there a character type you've just like not touched at all before in any games? Because I know you've been a sort of spellcaster before, you've been a healer, you're a little goblin, kind of sneaky, smart guy.
I don't know about smart, but
He was
that
a
was
demon.
intention.
Yeah, I was thinking,
And he
the
was a
demon's quite
psycho.
magical, he wasn't really kind of combat-y, was he?
He tried to
I
be
don't think he's been
combat.
a big
at
combat
points,
character yet.
but- No, Duradin was like the big tanky boy.
That's true, Duran's a big tanky guy, yeah.
Yeah, but that's a tank more than a brawler.
You haven't played
The
as
melee guy
a
gets in.
maniac.
I think Ala was kind of like towards the end anyway, just leaning into that thing.
No, I mean, he was like literally a demon, so yeah.
Yeah. I feel like even like picking like an archetype will be one thing, but I'd still need to come up with an idea for them to be an actual character, you know.
Yeah. Obviously, yeah. I mean, you can maybe just start with so if you're going to, everyone's kind of meeting this Pirate Kingdom Nightcross bandit land place, he's got to be a character, or she's got to be a character that's there. You could maybe start with like, well, why would the character be there? What would they be doing? You know what I mean? And kind of build it from there. Because then you're starting off with like a motivation.
Yeah, you could have been captured as a slave and brought to the southern continent from
Or
the
you
north
could-
continent.
Or you could just get one of those random generators and just hit that a few times.
You could be an octopus person pirate.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll look over the documents and see if something catches me.
Yeah.
Just I don't want to hold Dolly up, you know.
Well, I mean, there's no holding up. I just wanted to make sure everyone's kind of on board and on level. And we had a ground for, you know, what the premise was, where we were going to begin, and how everyone was kind of tied into each other. But I mean, I think we had most of that sort of decided beforehand anyway. If anyone does have a sheet that's done, or when you get your sheets done, just send me them on Discord. I'm sure they'll be fine. It's more so I can write down your stuff so I know what I'm working with.
How do I roll for loyalty and stuff for my companion?
I need to look at the sheet. Do you want to just randomize it? I mean, I would think he's just not loyal if he's trying to poison you.
He's just loyal, but he's
How-
very skilled at what he does.
Oh, he's just scared of you. He's too scared to like just run away. Or maybe you don't give him the opportunity to run away.
How much GP are we starting with? Because I've just checked 3 different documents and they've got 3 different values for adventurer.
What's the most
Are you-
recent document? It should have like a date beside it.
And the most recent one says 10. And it's on November. That's the one that's on the G drive. Was the most recent one.
I would go with that then.
The one I've got is older. It's got 20. It says.
Yeah, 20 is for the heroes on the newest one, and then 10 is for adventure.
So if it
Yeah.
used to be 20 and it's 10 now, that's because things used to cost 2 and I just made them cost 1 and then just half how much GP it was. Because there was,
Oh, okay then. So.
you know what I mean? There was no point in being 20 because everything cost 2 shit anyway.
Yep. Okay. That helps a lot.
Yeah, because everyone except for Draken and Master Fee are adventurers, not heroes.
Yeah. How do you pronounce your Minotaur's name?
Rasaluro?
So you don't know.
No.
Rasaluro. Okay. I'm annoyed with Minotaur because it can be Minotaur or Minotaur, but the Greek way to pronounce it is Minotaur. And it just really bugs me that nobody's settled on a fucking name.
Because it's the island of Minos it's named after.
Yeah. I mean, it's a
that's
Greek
cool.
word. You'd think you would go with the Greek, but nobody else uses the Greek pronunciation.
The problem is, though,
No
that's
one
not
likes
even.
it. That's why, because Minotaur sounds
I know, I get it.
terrible.
But that's not even the original word. Isn't it supposed to be like Minotaurus or something?
It's mean.
I
So
know
that's how they pronounce it.
It's Minotaur, and it's spelling O. It's like we don't actually have the consonant for it in English, but it's like a O that goes downwards. It's pronounced, which is why no one pronounced it properly. Because like the actual like Greek pronunciation would be Minotaur.
Wait, so
Like
was
that.
Centaur
It's
like
weird.
Centaur?
It's the bull of Minos. That's what Tor is in bull, and Minos as in the island of Minos.
No, I mean,
That's what's named.
you know, Centaur. Was it like Kentaur or something? If it's like Kerberos instead of Cerberus.
No, because Tor is the Greek for what we call bull. So it's
I
used
thought Mino
for
was
male
bull,
cows.
and Tor was.
No, Minos is the island it was named after.
Yeah.
That's why Taurus, the star sign, is the bull.
Then why is it a centaur?
Why is what a centaur?
A Centaur.
Oh wait, no, it's spelled
Kenotaur,
different.
It's
a
tar.
Kenotaur is a centaur.
I think that's tar, not tor.
Kenotaur is a
Though.
centaur.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, centaur comes from Kenotaur.
Yeah, the second part is a different word one.
Hmm.
Or different origin anyway. But yeah, it just bugs me that there's like 3 different ways to fucking say it.
I think there's like 5 or 6 actually, but it's like no one's settled.
Minotaur
It's
and
like there is the,
Monotaur.
yeah, there's the technical correct one which no one likes, so no one wants to use that, and so everyone uses their own one instead. Which no one, the 2 most popular is Minotaur and Minotaur, but it's like they can't even agree on that, even though neither of them are accurate in the slightest.
There we go. They're not Minotaurs anymore. They're just Tauruses.
They're just
So
big
you-
cows.
I don't know what it is,
You
but
can call them an Anthrotor.
I feel like
Anthrotor.
you know,
Anthrotor. An anthropomorphic bull.
Right, Bird, on you go.
I feel like saying like a Minotaur sounds more like it's one thing, like one of many. But saying the Minotaur, it sounds like there's only one of them.
Well, there was
You know,
only one of them. It
that's
was
what I
the
mean, though,
bull
like-
of Minos.
it sounds
It's
as
like-
if they are different kind of concepts almost. Like the race of Minotaurs or the Minotaur.
It's kind of like the word Pegasus. It used to be just the name of a winged horse.
Yeah.
But it's so ubiquitous now. Winged horses are now called Pegasus or Pegasi.
Pegasi.
Yep, I hate it too.
English is just a terrible language, man.
It's the Greeks' fault.
They just bastardize everything. It's the problem.
Alright, I'm just looking at the cowman. Drives, get paid.
Get paid and eat exotic food.
It's going to. The only thing with your mercenary type character, so this guy's literally a mercenary. It's kind of like figuring out why they would be going along in the first place. Do you know what I mean? So there's definitely got to be a kind of hint of treasure. Although maybe Drac and the other guy like hire him as muscle. That would work quite well.
I say I could literally hire him or tell him we'll go into a place where people steal stuff
Yeah.
for a living. Like, so yeah, there's gonna be like,
Yeah.
if he makes it there, there's plenty of shit that he could just steal. No one will care.
I mean, I can imagine using it in there. You know, there's bar fights and fights in the street, houses against set on fire. You know, it's just fucking bedlam. And then you're walking through, and you see this big, massive Minotaur walking around, dragging like a goblin and this kid. And you're like, oh, let's just hire that guy. He's pretty big.
Yeah, he's pretty big.
Yeah.
I will want to add, I'm rich and I'm a diplomat, so
Yeah, that'll work.
And he's local. He knows
Yeah.
places. Yeah.
I'm an heir, so I'm like the heir to the clan, so I have resources.
All his skulls are people who didn't pay him.
So if someone's motivation is money and just being hired, I can just hire them.
Violent tendencies. Love it.
I feel like violent tendencies would be like a racial thing for Minotaurs.
Well, I mean, I think if you're a mercenary and you do that for a living, you're going to be that type of person regardless. I don't think it's necessarily going to be tied to being a Minotaur.
Oh yeah,
What could be funny is Minotaurs could be a very peaceful race by nature, and they've just been like they're now violent due to the abuse and like slaver lifestyle they've been with.
I mean, if he's just become that person, he's just learned that he needs to be violent. And he's got a lot of pent up anger about it.
Yeah.
A woke Minotaur clan.
I kept a cannonball since I couldn't think of a better name.
Yeah, I mean, so he said cannonball. Could you throw it to sling? And I was like, it's a bit too big. You're not giant. But you did get cannonballs that were kind of like palm sized, baseball sized, for the smaller cannons. So yeah, you could use those quite easily, and those would be fucking lethal if they hit anyone.
I mean, this is a dangerous place. Cities have walls. I need to break those walls down.
Or you just find it very effective to just clunk people with big metal balls.
Maybe that too.
Saves your knuckles some wear and tear.
So Dark, I wanted to go through some stuff that I came up with.
Sure.
So my idea with Master Fee is that he's monk, and I'm not still sure about his character arc, but I suppose the last time I played him, he was a kid filled with rage. He lunges into the fight straight on, but I think this arc could be his change of ways. He's becoming more peaceful and more meditative, because he questions, is this really the way that his master was pointing at? And I imagine his martial arts being something in between Kung Fu and Aikido. Aikido, deflecting and using opponent's movement against them as a momentum. So his technique would be called Kokido. And I came up with some of the stuff. I don't know how you feel about it. For example, this parry ability on a successful defense roll when the defense is 10+, that he could have a opportunity strike.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Yeah, and then I would level up that on a successful defense roll, free opportunity strike, negating the disadvantage. So it would be just 2d6 without a disadvantage. 4 points invested.
I'll need to look at how you've written it, but yeah, that sounds fine.
And other thing is ability called Wait for Opening. I imagine when the fight when the battle starts, he spends around doing nothing, just observing the battlefield. And on my next turn, I have advantage on next move depending on what happened on the battlefield. So I would roll with careful or something like that.
Yeah, because you're looking for an opportunity, but you're biding your time and therefore leaving yourself open for a round.
Yes. So I spend a round observing enemy. On a successful roll, I discover weakness in his movement or style or armor, old injury, weaker body part, or just right moment to strike.
Yeah, depending on how well your careful roll goes. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I would base him around careful, focused moves.
Precision strikes, what you're saying, yeah.
Yes. High defense, so he's not wearing big armors, but he's small and he's agile. So he predicts the movements and he's good on defense. And then he's using those mistakes from the enemy against them.
Yeah, if I remember right, like one scene we had with him in the other campaign, he literally just kind of danced over a bunch of guys to get to the one that he wanted to attack. So yeah, very much light on his feet.
Yes, and I would have a disadvantage of not being able to carry more than 5 weight, or not being able to wear heavy armor because of my fighting technique. Only light armors or robes, something like that.
Yeah, and anytime you're sort of burdened, weighed down, you're a little more kind of at a disadvantage.
Yeah. Typical light-footed monk.
Yeah, so I mean, you would dance around someone like Alex's character, but if Alex's character managed to get a hold of you, you would be in trouble.
Yes. I will keep probably forceful on -1.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Careful, flashy, quick.
Oh, very flashy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds fine. I imagined a few kind of scenes. I mean, I'll wait and see what you kind of reveal about his background to the other characters as you go along. But I had a couple of ideas for kind of scenes for, because remember we said, or you described before, because his village had been ransacked, burned down, destroyed. And it was just sort of flashbacks relating to that day and how things went down and how that might foretell, things that are going to happen in the future, because he was very much another one of your characters of Destiny before the way you had him.
Yeah. The interesting thing is how I describe the background in first campaign with him is that unknown mysterious ninja clan completely killed off his whole village and
yes, and
burned
I think
everything.
and I think that should stand. I think that works in perfectly. Fortunately, there are 2 ninja clans, so it doesn't necessarily mean Drakan's on the hook.
No.
I think we've got 2 characters who don't like ninjas with a ninja character on the team.
And
First time.
it could even be a Drax Ninja Clan. It's just a splinter group.
The first time I never let him know that I was a ninja before he disappeared.
Yeah, no, he doesn't know.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
He has no reason though, because I mean the whole point is ninjas. They're not walking around with a big badge that says ninja on it.
Right.
But it just if it's like, oh, okay, we're going to this place, and he's like, this looks awfully like a ninja clan building. Hang on a minute.
Wait a second.
I've straight away when you picked this sort of setting, I was joining dots for a couple of these characters, knowing what their backgrounds were before and how they would tie in together. I'm excited, like I said.
The only trouble I have is with his drive. So I imagine him as Ronin warrior, without master, without purpose. So what would be his reason to join this band of heroes?
So
Now that
So I think before he kind of had an idea that he had some sort of destiny he was supposed to look for, but then if he ends up, broken and beaten and bloody, it just enslaved, that's going to like break him down, and that's like you said. Then he's reconsidering and becoming more patient and more cautious with things, because I imagine that sort of youthful naivety is being robbed, taken away from him now, and he's maybe just kind of like adapting to how serious and cruel, other things in the world actually are. And it's not all going to be just like, I don't know, maybe he used to think he was just going to like get vengeance for his family and be this great warrior, and then all of a sudden he's getting his ass kicked. And he's just, he's trying to build up from the bottom that he's been knocked down to.
yeah, sounds good. Yeah. His dream of becoming a hero is met with the reality of this world, and
Yeah, and maybe literally the Minotaur like has you enslaved when he's hired, and you're just kind of dragged along. It's not by choice.
yeah. Another thing for disadvantages, I would take something like a rough start. I start without equipment and with some of the injury slots filled.
Yeah, I like that, yeah.
The only reason you're not in worse shape is because the goblin chef has been treating your wounds to help him escape from his slavery.
So we did, and we mentioned as well, Alex, with your guy, because your guy's obviously not actually with the slave convoy now. He's broken off on his own. So I don't know if maybe you've seen something in this kid that's made you like, that's driven you to leave the company or take your own path for some reason or other. Or maybe you just thought this boy's more valuable than he appears, and you decided to bring him here yourself so you could cash him in.
He sees the potential for the kid to become a great warrior. So he wants to train him, and he saw him fighting and saw that he wouldn't kill his opponent, so he wants to try to make him more bloodthirsty.
Yeah, so you brought him here to Nightcross to toughen him up and get him trained properly so he can be a good fighter. And maybe be a gladiator that like works for you and earns you coin. And as said, Fee's just kind of just been dragged along against his will. And then things unfold as you begin your journey south.
One question.
and the other
Master Fee ever taught?
Oh, you got him.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Has Master Fee ever taught anyone before? Has he always just been a traveling guy, or has he ever been a teacher for like martial arts?
No, he was never a teacher. But the thing is, in the first campaign, I called him Master Fee because he's the only one that possesses the knowledge of this ancient martial arts technique called Kokido. And the master, on his dying words, he told him that he needs to find the followers and spread the martial arts technique once again to come back and rebuild the village one day. But yeah, his dreams were just shattered. He already forgot about that part of his life, or he suppressed it.
Okay, because my guy does unarmed combat as well, so I was thinking like a possible connection to Master Fee.
You could even like, this is going a bit more like Croker and the other guy again, but like take him partially under your wing a little bit, and you could like train together, and then maybe you see like, oh, he's actually got a lot of skills already in this very different style.
Yeah, and the thing is, in the opening scene, I imagine him completely starved and skinny, wrapped in bandages, scarred, bruised, and he does not look like a warrior. He does not look like a tough guy. So his looks are very deceiving if you see him at the first glance,
I can imagine though, Alan,
Unless
as your
you're
guy,
like-
as a martial artist as well, and a well-trained one, maybe like when you see him, maybe even just the way he moves or something like that, you can tell that he's trained, and then you can also tell the style is like a very unique style and different from ones you're used to seeing.
It's similar but different because I was going to have Aikido as well as core style.
Oh yeah, I mean a lot
So
of them
it's
have
like
a lot of
mine's
similarities,
is like
obviously.
I was thinking my art could be like a derivative of his ancient one.
Uh-huh.
I think maybe that could lead to like him discovering more about his ancient art and things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Just a little connection thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah, totally.
There you go. So I think that's
Yeah.
my character done. The only thing I don't have is I don't know how much talisman paper I'm allowed to start with and how much it'll cost to buy it.
How much what, sorry?
Talisman paper, the whole we use paper to uh, essentially like hold spirits
Okay.
temporarily
Yeah, like to bind them sort of thing.
and to bind and steal demons as well. So I need paper and ink.
I mean, if it's
Magic
something
ink.
you're going to use, well, I mean, ink, you're going to have like an inkwell. You wouldn't ever carry more than that at a time, I don't think.
Yeah, just like a small pot of ink.
But then again, if you're so rich, you might have, a servant that like carries a whole load of gear for you.
Well, I think like I'm rich, but the like my resources are not with me. That's why like I'm heir,
Sure.
so it's like I can go. I if we're in like a large city or a town, I could like try and find
Yeah, especially the more
resources.
further south you get and stuff as well.
Yeah, places that are more affiliated with the clan and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's considering that's something that you do. I'm safe to say you've probably got like a fair wad of scrolls, paper with you. You could definitely procure some in a lot of the sort of places you're going to visit in the cities and towns.
Yeah, I just thought it'd be good to have as like a fixed resource of some kind.
I have a question though. So since your character is from the same continent, is slavery like widespread, like everyone on this continent, or except for a few countries does it, or is it more still?
It's very
Because
widespread.
I feel like
I mean, it's a big
because I feel like if
continent.
my character were on the other continent, he'd be considered an evil mercenary for having slaves. But
Yes, because in the other
Is here,
continent,
he's-
they like came under the rule of like one single empire for at least a few decades, and they had outlawed slavery. So, but on this continent, it's all different kingdoms and fiefdoms. So there'll be individual ones that maybe look down upon or do not use slavery, but historically, it's such an economic advantage that a lot of countries aren't going to give it up. Do you know what I mean?
I imagine my
so here
country
he's more ambiguously morally gray.
as I was saying, my country is probably one that uses the very more Japanese form of slavery, which is less abusive and more like a class, but it still exists and it's still rampant. You still buy people's property, but you're considered like uncouth if you mistreat your slaves.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine a lot of them.
And you're almost
It's not in their interest to mistreat them too much because
Oh,
and also because if you ever lost the war against someone and then you ended up a slave, you don't want to be mistreated either. So there's a kind of reciprocal version. But imagine the mercenary companies being mercenary companies that are just a bunch of bandits and assholes. They do like abuse their slaves and don't treat them very well, which is how Fees ended up the way he is. But imagine more in like the civilized, quote unquote civilized parts of the world where there's kingdoms and cities and stuff like that. They probably have a lot more sort of regulation and laws about how you're allowed to actually treat people. But yes, slavery would be widespread on this continent. We established that in the former campaign.
So then, how rare would it be to see like Minotaur slaves? Since most would rather just die than live with defeat.
I think probably rare because being large, strong people that they are, it's probably more useful to have them on your side as the muscle than it is to trying to like enslave them and potentially piss off a large section of them. So imagine it's just physically more difficult to enslave them than it is smaller humans. It's more often than not they kind of like get made use of for their size and strength to enslave others. or as mercenaries. Yeah,
Could I take
supplements.
prejudice slavers?
Totally, yeah. I would encourage
Yeah.
it because slavery's a really nasty thing.
Yeah, and this it's just I need another negative quality, and I'm like, what one? I'm like, I think I'm not like 100% against slavery, but I'm against like modern slavers because it's like,
I mean, you could be 100%
Yeah.
against it. Just because it's legal doesn't mean you agree with it, obviously. You could be like, it's not right that people are treated this way. But
Yeah.
it's kind of just the status quo in this place, and you have to work around it. That could also tie into maybe, reaching out and speaking to Fee and stuff like that, because you're like, this boy shouldn't be in shackles. What are you doing?
I grew up in a country where like slavery is it's like being like cruel to slaves is incredibly wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's looked down upon. I'm like, these slaves are just like scum of the earth. How can you treat people like that? Ugh. So yeah, that's my character done. I will save this.
It's about honor. He lost his right when he didn't die in combat.
I mean, I always think the Minotaurs at large, if they're like viewing everyone else as just like temporary visitors to this land, and with the assurity that the Minotaurs are going to outlast everyone here anyway, it could just be like the Minotaurs just sort of like put up with things like slavery and all that because you just assume, hey, this is the way humans operate. So I'm not really doing anything wrong by being a part of that system. So maybe they just don't feel either way about it. But of course, individuals will feel different depending on the circumstances. Anyone got any questions or ideas?
I think I'm good. I'm just going through my character sheet now.
Sure.
I've just uploaded mine if you want to look through it.
Could you send me on Discord, Alan?
Yeah, I've just put it in the G drive, but
Alright.
yeah,
Which, hang on.
Shiki Abbey.
Okay, I see you. Shiki.
Well, then, if Minotaurs think they're going to outlast everyone, how long do Minotaurs live?
Well, I'm talking about it as a culture, maybe not individuals, but
Oh, okay.
I guess it's up to you. You can make it longer lived or short lived. It's up to you.
Everybody else is outsider.
Probably they have a surprisingly long lifespan, but none of the modern ones really live that long enough to get to old age.
What's entomophobia, Alan?
Fear of insects.
Alright, okay.
He's a fear of bugs. I'm like, I was essentially, even though we're like travelers and things like that, I'm still a posh rich kid.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Would the giant scarabs, would they terrify you then? 'Cause that's your worst nightmare.
I was thinking that's where my fear of bugs came from.
Sure. Because when you're a kid, you're reading stories from like far lands to the east where these giant insects roam. And it's like,
Oh no, imagine like the clan was hired by these insect people, and like I'm like 5-year-old kid and see these giant disgusting bug creatures like, oh, aren't you cute? And I'm like just pissing myself.
well, they don't speak English. They don't speak at all.
Oh, they make these weird rattling noises. That's what it's saying.
Yeah.
And of course, like because we're like, mercenaries and like diplomats and things like that, we probably like learnt how to communicate with them in some way. We could use like spirits or something, so the adults could communicate with them. And it's like, this kid does not understand any of this. Just giant insects are like looming over me, and I'm like pissed scared of them.
Oh yeah, they're terrifying. They probably eat like small animals live and stuff like that as well, man, which is probably disturbing.
Oh, I might even watch them eating like live animals, and my parents like, it's fine, it's fine.
I'll need to get you to like mark on the map where your home kingdom is, so we know kind of where you're coming from.
It'll have to be a bit it won't be anywhere near the desert, so Probably like, is the Riverlands like a kingdom or anything?
The Riverlands is where all the halflings live.
All right. So they'd definitely be near water, because
Yeah, there's a lot of spaces
I
there
imagine
that are like literally blank. They could be filled in with water and green stuff.
you see the islands to the right
Yes,
under the Riverlands.
yes.
Yeah, those islands is the kingdom.
Yeah, this big large island
And
primarily.
probably like the like it could be a twin kingdom between the two islands. There used to be a war, and now they're like united. That'd be cool.
Yeah, any game marker. The only one is there's one that's called Abzu. It's kind of fish shaped because the halflings believe that that island is like a sleeping fish god.
Which one's the fish-shaped one?
You see, there's like a red and yellow fish in the water. Just below that, there's
Oh,
a
yeah.
kind of green island. It's that island.
Oh no, it's not that one. I was thinking the two bigger ones. The like long big one and like the more square big one. Yeah, that one and that one. Yeah.
Okay, these two, sure.
So like a fantasy Japanese culture.
Yeah, essentially like one's Japan, one's Korea. They're like united at the moment.
This is also going to be where Promeru came from originally, because we did not define where he came from, and obviously being Promeru and being the Dark Ronin, he had to come from somewhere that was sort of like Japanese based. So it makes sense that he came from here originally.
And that's the thing, is like I hate Promeru is like a great shame in our nation.
Is this some kind of ironic shame where he's also the one who led the war to unite them before he went insane?
Or he may have been like a warrior during that war, the Unification War.
Yeah. And then he died. And that's when he made his pact with Malekith.
Yep. He's packed with evil.
Always the way.
Oh, so
Yep.
speaking of where they're from, I figured the last time he was with his tribe or clan, they were by the Three Sisters Mountains.
Okay.
Oh, it really does fetch.
Yeah, just thinking we'll probably, well, I mean, there'll be plenty of opportunity for you to fill in the history touch points in your background, Alan.
Yeah.
That's a whole kingdom you get to design.
Yep. Kingdom I've like visited once, but like hear stories of like every night as I grew up. Yeah, the only thing no, that did take pacifist. I was like,
So, careful, Flash.
like, I'm not a fighter. I'm just here to kill demon. I'm here to banish and seal demons. I'm not here to fight ruffians and miscreants.
The power of
I'm
the
just
written
here to
word.
get my Yep. So it's like, can we all just get along?
So you're all pacifistic, and then I'm just going around killing every enemy that doesn't surrender.
And I'm like, they've surrendered. They've surrendered.
I can imagine as well the mentors like just learned through experience now that just the easiest and quickest ways to deal with most problems is just to kill the person that's at the source of it.
No, like, they're unarmed. Why? Actually, I didn't take unarmed against unarmed. It was against. I only take action against wrongdoers and demons.
So then how does the rest of the continent view Minotaurs then, if they're just kind of assimilating
I mean,
the culture from everyone who lives there?
It's going to vary. I imagine there's ones that view them as animals. There's ones that view. I'd written down in this paragraph some of that written. So we established like Malekith had like an army of beastmen at the far north as well. And imagine a lot of people get beastmen and minotaurs confused, but beastmen are these hideous mutations of like chaos energy and evil, you know, that have cursed people and turned them into these mutants basically, whereas minotaurs are actually a very long and proud culture. So there's probably people that look down on them, people that think they're animals, people that think they're monsters, people who think they're evil, slaver, or just stupid creatures. And then there'll be other people that have a much more varied kind of understanding. Probably people that trade with them in different clans. So yeah, I mean, it'll vary depending on who they are. But I mean, by and large, people probably are just a little intimidated because they're so large and strong, and they have a reputation for being violent and unpredictable. It's sort of cautious trepidation, I imagine, is how most people approach them. Because I can imagine the Minotaurs don't really talk to people much, they just kind of grunt. You know, to acknowledge yes or no, and that's kind of the extent of it, because you just don't have the time to be talking to humans. Or not any more than you have to be. That's how I was picturing it anyway.
They're all going to leave the continent soon, so at some point, so
Yeah, you're just like
don't waste time talking to them.
yeah, you're just putting up with them until they fuck off. Imagine you're very practical sort of people. You're like, well, they're here. There's a lot of them. We'll just kind of, you know, go with it until they fuck off. But we don't really care, you know, either way about what happens to them. So imagine
Maybe
with,
that'll be Rosaloro's end goal is just to unite the Minotaur tribes and run everyone else off the continent.
well, that's what I was going to say as well. Like, so I mean, they're not just one homogenous culture. There's going to be hundreds, if not thousands, or more of different clans and ideologies and beliefs and practices. But yeah, I mean, that's probably how the humans sort of took over, because you are so separate. You know, you weren't a united force, so they kind of just like swept in. And maybe,
Minotaurs may also be like a
sorry,
patient race by nature.
yes.
So when they're collected together, they're just like, we'll just wait. And then the humans obviously are very proactive race, constantly moving
yeah.
and acting.
Yeah. I mean, imagine at one point you and the Minotaurs probably remember through their own history that when the humans came, there was a lot of fighting and a lot of bloodshed. But it's probably happened so long ago that humans don't even remember there ever was like wars with Minotaurs. They just kind of assume that this is the way things have always been. But the Minotaurs have got a longer memory about these things.
Implying a much longer lived race.
Or just a better
I'd
tradition of like, you know, passing down the stories.
imagine like the shamans or whatever. It's just a terrible crime to try to change anything that the previous shaman told them about the history. Like something so bad they can do that they have their horns cut off and sent to live with the other hornless races.
Eric, I have a question regarding approaches. So, if I want to improve approach, I spend one creation point, and I need to lower something else, right?
Alright, let me look at this.
Or is it just +1 to an approach?
I know you start with 2 at +1, 2 at 0, and 2 at -1.
Well, but they're starting off. Master P is starting off with the hero loadout, right? So it's 1 + 2, 2 + 1, and then 2 zeros and 1 -1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, I
but you
didn't
can
know.
spend 2 of your points to have an extra +1 or +1 and -1 to any approach.
Sure, okay.
So you can spend the 2 GP and you can raise one, but you'll have to lower another one to kind of balance it out.
Okay, got it.
Oh, I don't think I did enough negative qualities.
Why is this not downloaded the bloody file?
So, Bird, have you got any ideas yet?
What tablet were we going for again? I've got Conjuration in my head, but I think that was the one it wasn't.
Alan's character Shiki is going after Conjuration, so he believes or is hoping that Conjuration will show up.
But
And we've
that
already gotten the
one-
we've already gotten the alteration one and the enchanting one or the necromancy one.
You won't know at the start what one you're going to uncover. You're just tracking down one
Yeah.
or
I think
looking
we
for
got
information
three.
about which one it could be.
Well, Draken would know which one they've already gotten since he was
But
there.
he doesn't know that
second
they have
time.
one. He's just going down to
I just-
investigate.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The first half is going to be going down there, investigating and trying to find leads about which ones might be around in this continent. Now, Alan, Kingdom Clan will know that the Conjuration one was here, so it's very likely still somewhere on this continent. But any of the other missing ones could still show up. Weak immune system, Alan. You're going to get diarrhea while you're on the river.
Oh god, if I'm eating the poison, yeah.
Are you going to eat the Goblin Chef's poisoned food? And
I'm imagining the first time I'm going to eat it, and I'll be sick and incapacitated, and then I'm like, I will never eat anything that Goblin Chef has ever made.
It's going to be sickly for the whole
And I'll
campaign because
constantly
it
be looking at
never
it
fully
with-
recovers.
I will be looking at Goblin Chef with like fear and intimidation.
I need to add one more negative quality. Come on.
he doesn't even poison your food. It's just that Goblin cooking is just so different from everyone else's.
It's like coughing, spewing, and shitting himself. And the goblin's like, that wasn't even the poison.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Be the best ninja. It's a great drive.
I gotta do great ninja things. If I fail at it, it's just no good.
I can well imagine a lot of people who play different systems looking at the list of like positive qualities and tags these characters have and just having a heart attack. Just being like, what the fuck is this? This character can do everything.
You really can't though. You really can't. That's about what
Well, I
I was
mean, I
almost at the end of our last campaign.
I mean, it's a dice game. Fucking doesn't matter what you write in the sheet.
Yeah.
Well, because I mean,
Yep.
just as bad as our characters are, some of the monsters we've had to fight in other campaigns probably been more stacked in their advantage.
Well, I'm gonna dark on that one. No matter what traits I have, I can always roll a fucking 2.
Yeah.
Like, what good is that gonna do me?
I did like I think it was the basilisk in the last one. They just looked at you and you just turned to stone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, yes, and then the only two wasn't with the two people who didn't pay
Oblivious.
attention.
Didn't even notice this.
Oblivious people.
So I've not got a great like developed idea for it, but you know, the Feywild has kind of gone to shit.
Uh-huh.
I was considering maybe like a character who's a refugee from the Feywild, basically,
Ah, okay.
and I don't know exactly how it would work, but maybe is looking to find something in the material world that can kind of overfill, or what's the word? Kind of like return balance, restore balance to the
Yeah.
Feywild.
To get rid of that.
I mean, stop the evil psycho pixie with the giant murder axe.
stop the murderous sunderer.
Yeah, and then once you beat him, we can have Thunder's redemption arc.
If he doesn't die like Al did.
So I mean,
Oh yeah.
so obviously
I
we
saw
know. Sorry, on you go.
I was just going to say I saw that in the notes as well, that it says, I think Al was slain in the last campaign. He was, yeah.
Yes, I thought you were the one. I really need to go back and listen. It's because it's just so long, man. You need to listen to them. I'm just trying to think what creatures are traditionally fey creatures. Obviously elves, and we established like pixies.
And then I guess a bunch of androgynous races that are just collectively called the Fae. Like the water spirits and stuff.
Oh yeah, sure. Like nymphs and stuff like that, man.
What does your character know what's caused the Feywild to go crazy?
I wouldn't have thought they'd know specifically that it was Sunderer. Just...
There's an imbalance in the way things are going. I mean, you probably know because he slew the Fall Court. It was right.
Yeah, so he's the
and everything was...
the new king of fallen trees.
Yeah.
And everything was on fire as well, if I recall.
Yeah. And then we had the it wasn't the visitor, what was it called? The intruder?
The giant spider.
No, the giant slime.
Yeah, the big
Mushroom slime stuff.
mushroom growth thing. They got defeated, but I mean it was there for a while messing up stuff as well. Yeah, so there's just an imbalance in the Fae. Shit's on fire, you know, autumn is just never ending.
Yeah, I'd probably, since you said those like druid is a traditional class missing, I'd maybe just lean towards that kind of direction.
So nature and magic kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think this continent was probably not ideal for that, right?
I mean, it's a whole continent. It's not just one. I mean, there's a big desert in the middle of it, but I mean, there's not just one biome or anything like that.
It's just to be contrarian, I feel like I always end up going shit like that. Like, oh, we're in a desert, you know, nature character.
Maybe it's your first time in the material world and you didn't know where you would end up.
Yeah, I think, like, when I say a refugee from the Feywild, it's not like they left knowing where they'd end up. They just kind of appeared in this continent.
Yeah, because I mean, if you've never been before, how would you know where you're going to end up?
And so I think the storing balance would be like a far off goal.
Yes,
And
kind
of
of
finding
nebulous goal that you're not quite sure how you're going to achieve. Are you thinking?
Well, if you need some help stealing a pixie.
I mean, are you thinking more spirit then, like an actual spirit, or something more solid physical?
I'm not really sure. Like,
You could
I
be a
think-
pixie from a different court.
yeah, like a pixie, or did you say there were like elves that only live in the Feywild?
Well, they're more like the spirits of elves. It would be because that's where they go when they pass.
Yeah.
Also, any kind of like animal creature, its spirit kind of goes to the Feywild because it is the afterlife for like the natural world, as well as various spirits, nymphs. God, what's the other word for those things?
Dryads?
Sylphs, undines.
Yeah, like the tree spirits, the water spirits, river spirits, that kind of stuff.
Or you could just be a magical talking animal from the Feywild.
You could be an ant.
Giant tree. It could be a talking squirrel.
Or a tortoise. I don't know, could go Fae, folk, and see what kind of stuff pops up. I mean, you're free to invent things that kind of like suit it as well. We're not restricted here.
Yeah, I think given that the Fae are also kind of tricky people, it could make sense if they took on another form as well. Or just kind of disguise themselves as something that's native to the material realm.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, I'll need to try and flesh out a bit and decide my weaknesses and stuff, my qualities.
Weakness, iron.
Yeah, cold.
I mean,
'Cause I think even if I never used it, I think Sunder was like had magical talent and illusion.
oh yeah, fear, all like illusion and trickery and getting people to make deals and stuff like that.
Because I
You
know
were
I once
using
got that
illusion
one
a lot,
spell that.
Sunder.
Well, but I got one spell that I never got a chance to use, the Fairy Kingdom, where it just like changes everything around you for like a mile.
Did you not use that once?
I think I got it in the right before the last one, but I never used it.
I think you did use it, but you failed the cast, and so like it went haywire.
I vaguely remember. Was it the illusion tablet campaign? Was that the one that Sundra was in?
He was in the one where
Sunder
we were
was in the
going through
rescue
the
operation.
yeah,
Trying
when
to
we we're trying to
rescue the
rescue the
Princess
princess.
Stone.
Right. Okay.
I did notice there though, glamour, your appearance is altered as you see fit, although you cannot change your size. So I can't be like a pixie pretending to be a human.
Yeah.
Damn.
You could just tell people, oh, I had very small appearance.
You may be able to get away with that like a halfling. So I'm just a very short halfling.
I mean, pixies are normally like thumb sized, are they not?
That's the joke. It's like I'm pretty sure halflings are a lot bigger than that. It's like I'm a midget halfling.
You could also tell people that you were cursed. Or maybe you're just very sneaky and you hide.
My character is the pixie who's in the pocket of a human. With control of the human around.
Oh, so this is when you've beguiled.
Nah, I don't think I'd actually do that. I think that'd get in the way too much.
Are you going to be like Ratatouille? You're going to be under a hat, pulling the hair to control him.
I feel like that wouldn't be like when is this going to cause an issue. It'd be when is this not going to be an issue.
You disguised yourself as a small animal that doesn't appear on this continent, so you were captured, and you were in the cart that Rassaluro stole.
You could also just not be a pixie if it's too much trouble.
Yeah, like I kind of liked the notion that it was something that could actually blend into society a bit better than a pixie. But I mean, it's slavery is that happen. I don't know how likely that'd be to happen as well.
The faithful.
You could be like
fairies.
you could be like an animal type person, and you're like passing yourself off as like a minotaur kind of thing.
Or just pass yourself
I
off
actually
as just a traveller from somewhere that people haven't heard of.
see some of the Monster Hunter armors that like they obviously use parts of the monster.
Uh-huh.
Although I kind of like them.
I got a great idea for you. I know you
That
said you didn't want to be a pixie, but you could be a pixie in a suit of animated armor.
I probably won't go with that. But yeah, I kind of like the idea, like that image anyway. That it's like an animal aspect, and they're just saying, "No, this is just armor," but it's not. It's actually part of them. But yeah, I'll think of something.
You could be like, I mean, proper fae or fairies. Fairies aren't always depicted as being tiny in the way that pixies are. fairies were often like just like I mean they always portrayed them as like maidens because they were tricking people. So I mean you could just be like a fairy, but you just kind of look like a normal human.
Yeah, because in like Shakespeare, like Oberon and things like that were like the size of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, because and aren't hags also from the Feywild? You could be a hag. You want to go for like the whole magic nature route.
I feel like I'd want some powerful glamour in that case.
I mean I think if you're a
Good
fairy,
enough,
the
powerful.
glamour just goes with it.
Yeah.
Oh, also goblins and gnomes.
But yeah, I think like while Faye obviously leans towards glamour, I'd want some like less illusion focused stuff as well. If it's nature magic.
Yeah, I mean whatever floats your boat. You could be more sort of elemental with the seasons or just like animal stuff. There's a wide range you could cover there.
You could be a dryad whose tree got cut down, but it was cut down with Sunder's axe, so it somehow cursed you.
Dryad, that was the other word I was trying to remember.
Yeah, but somehow Sunder's axe cursed you to be alive even though your tree died. Or your tree is still alive, but it's just always on fire.
I mean, he doesn't need to actually know Sundara.
Well, his tree could be cursed because of Sundar, but he doesn't know why his tree's cursed. It's just cursed, and he's trying to find a way to cure his tree.
I like how you assume everyone in the Feywild has a tree.
Oh no, dryads are bonded to trees.
Oh, yeah, Dryad, yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about his dryad.
Wouldn't druids also just go to the Feywild when they die?
If they were linked to, like, deities that were in the Feywild, yes. Because as we kind of established before, you know, the realms only exist because because enough people believed in them, and it kind of creates them. And the Feywild is sort of default for any kind of creature that just lives its life oblivious without higher thought.
Or creatures just connected to nature.
Yeah, well, any creature that's not got higher sort of intelligence is just going to default to like the Feywild, which is why it's so large and powerful and expansive. And then other races and cultures have just kind of bought into that belief system as well, which is why they also end up there. That's why all the spiderlings and all that were in the Feywild as well.
I thought it was more like just we only went to a small part of the Feywild. There's probably other biomes and stuff there.
Oh yeah, I mean there would be deserts and oceans and rivers and all the rest of it. It's literally
Do you
nature.
know how long after the last campaign this is?
So I'm thinking by the time Drac travels from where he's were to the Vosterlands and then sets sail, I mean we're talking like a month minimum.
Yeah, I think if it's a while after Thunder, then that's probably better because it's like
Also remember that time, you know, it can be whatever you want it to be and how it moves in different realms compared to others.
yeah.
Because it could have been just 1,000 years in the Feywild, but only a year in the real world.
Or vice versa. Because you did all that campaign and that was in the space of time, you know, before your body started to decompose. But we were doing it kind of Inception wise, like the deeper down you go, the quicker time seems to pass for you compared to the upper levels. Right, so who's have I got here? I saw Drax, I saw Shike, I saw... What's his name? Your Minotaur. Razzle. Razzle Dazzle.
I might just make his name shorter.
Resoluro. Sorry, I will get it. It's just I can't think just now. So fees I don't have.
Oh, I'm finishing up. Should be ready in a minute or two.
Yeah, that's fine. I was just going over which ones I've got, which ones I don't.
So I was wondering, I have some extra points, and initially I was planning a character to have 10 character creation points, and the thing I'm wondering if it's maybe possible to simplify things. I could maybe take 12 points, spend 12 points on what's the name of that gear? Light weave tunic, and one of my drives is to find the tomb of First Master Fei Long, and maybe I could invest points in advance to that light weave tunic when I discover the tomb of First Master.
So you mean like buy things and then just like come across them later?
Yes.
Well,
yes.
you know, you get one gear as free as part of the hero thing. You can make that your light weave tunic.
Yeah, but I have a rough start, so I'm not starting with any gear or weapons. That's the first thing, and the
But
second thing is I think that the character arc is because Fee is looking for his own personal motive, how to
Yeah, if you want
finding a way.
to, if you want to like spend points and design like interesting stuff that he can like discover throughout the journey, we can definitely do that, and then just like scatter them along the trail.
Yeah, because I was thinking there is part of his destiny. Why is he the sole survivor of his village? And finding the first tomb, the tomb of his first master, is vital to his character development and finding
I
the
already
way.
know exactly how to tie this in, so yeah, do that.
Yeah, and maybe that master is having a light weave tunic, and I'm gonna stumble upon it.
Yeah, I don't worry. I know exactly where to put stuff to cause the most conflict.
Very good, very good.
Oh shit!
Like, so he was a martial artist that ascended, and he was the enlightened one. He was the one who invented the technique, and his tomb is somewhere lost. But in our village, we have stories about him, and yeah, I think that finding his tomb may shine a light on Fee and his new way, his new life. And if you already have an idea, that's really cool.
Yeah, I got some ideas. Obviously, just work them around what you guys come up with as well as we go. That's something I wanted to ask, like, because last time, or just in general, do you feel like you get enough kind of options and choice about where the story goes? Because it is obviously a little, it's not railroady, but you know, there's a kind of defined sort of structure to it because it is like a journey to achieve a set objective. I just want to make sure you feel like it's not because it's not a sandbox game. I just want to make sure you feel like you still get enough choice about where to go and what to do, kind of thing.
I've never had a problem with that in these campaigns. I've always found it fine.
Yeah, I don't find them too streamlined. We always have something unexpectedly popping up.
Yeah, just because I would like to see a Drac. It's nice to come back to like a kind of stereotypical fantasy hero with that sort of structure to it. But at the same time, I don't want to feel like it's too railroady for people. Because
I always find a way, John, to. We always find a way to go in a total tangent. It takes up an entire session that you've just never envisioned at all.
Totally.
So we're fine.
after that last one, or during it, I was explaining to people on, I can't remember what site it was, how I wasn't sure if that session was like interesting enough, and I was describing because he was fighting on like the back of his flying shark, where the island had these big massive chains and everybody's trying to climb up on us kind of stuff, and I was describing it, and the guys were like, "What the fuck are you talking about? It's not interesting."
That was like
It's
the
like-
best. That was like one of the best sessions.
Yeah.
it was like. It was like that's like
I
the
love that
culmination of our
finale. It was
campaigns,
so
man.
good. It was so amazing. You could just see it all happening. It's like climbing, scaling the chains, the fight, and one of the characters getting possessed while climbing the chains, start knocking us all off in the flying shark and everything. It was so epic.
The sword fight in the back of the flying shark was pretty cool, man.
Oh yeah, as well, holding on to the reins of the shark
And then it
the
like falling
saddle.
off and getting caught again and all that. It was just cool.
Oh yeah. I
I
still
love-
think the funniest was when we crashed the airship with the other airship
Yes,
and had to
that
like
was good.
bail.
It's only too bad that character died. Or wait, the continent's here. We could run into people and giant flying fish.
I feel
Right.
like there's been less Cleo stuff than that fight. I don't know. I don't think that's the thing that I'd be confused about, you know.
What do you mean confused
I-
about?
Like, did you not say the guy was like, what are you talking about?
No. They were talking like what you talking about is like saying that sounds like it wasn't exciting enough or interesting enough.
Oh, right. It's
Yeah, I
after
think
that's-
you're too hard on
What's going
yourself
on?
sometimes, John, with these campaigns.
No, I know that it was. It's hard to get the payoff because you know I a lot of time envision how I want it to go, and I'm not always got the skill to fucking bring it about that way. I mean, I love these campaigns and they're great, but sometimes you know afterwards I'm kind of like, oh, it just wasn't quite as good as I wanted it to be, and that's what I was expressing to the people in the thing, and then when I described it to them, they're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
That sounds
You're too
amazing.
hard on
Yeah.
yourself sometimes, John. You're like, oh, it didn't go exactly how I wanted. It's like, but they turned out amazing.
I'm never satisfied.
I-
I'm very rarely satisfied with like my endings to campaigns. I think the endings are quite hard to pull off to make them satisfying. You guys make it really good because you do a lot of the lifting when it comes to the characters at the end and the resolutions to like the arcs and stuff.
Yeah,
But it's particularly a
I
lot of
thought
the
the
other
last campaign.
particularly with a lot of the other campaigns, I find the ending I really kind of struggle with.
I think my favorite part from that campaign though was when I was playing Hypnos and they cut off both my arms, but I still kept fighting them.
Oh, the Hypnos fight was fantastic. It was like just it total thrills right to the end, like doing no damage and then just one shot that was like almost incapacitates them. We're like, what the hell's going on? Total thrill right that fight. Yeah, I don't think any of the fantasy campaigns have had like bad endings or anything. I think they've always.
I don't think they've got bad endings, but I'm never fully satisfied with how they're going. And I find that, especially with a lot of the other games I run as well, I just find the endings kind of difficult to make satisfying.
I mean, I guess Tact didn't really end, but I thought the way Al's story ended and the way the Rhythm's story ended
That
was
was
pretty satisfying.
see, that campaign was the one that got me started recording stuff though, because afterwards I was like, I really wish we'd recorded that because it was so fucking good. It was just really interesting the way we went through different realms and fleshed them out.
Yeah, that was still my favorite campaign. Was the Realms.
That was really-
The Duradam campaign is like probably my second favorite. Just the comedy in that one was just gold.
But then the one with Croker and
The one with Croker I love as well.
the boy demon sword, that was such a good story.
Oh, I know, I loved that story. It was freaking heartbreaking.
And then I also loved the illusion tablet one as well. We went to the island and it was just like utter fuckery.
Oh man, the bit Gildas just puts the glasses on like immediately. That scene's gonna stick with me for years.
I mean, I liked because I described the house like it was going to be a giant mimic, and you were all refusing to go inside the building.
Yeah, I know, it's like. Oh.
I love this these fantasy ones, man. Really good.
Yeah, we've not had a bad one. The fantasies. That's all.
The one
It's like
where we
even when we
started
started
off,
like, in the village.
the pirates kind of one at the start was really kind of slow going for a couple of sessions.
That didn't help with one of the characters who was like crucial for the start, just wasn't there half the time.
Yeah, the season 4
That
one
got
was
a bit slow.
kind of slow to get going, but that was with Croker and stuff, and that was really good once it got going.
Yeah, once I go on with Croker and everything was great, and the sword, the story, and then the big final fight with Prom at the end
Pomerol.
with the chairs.
Yeah,
So does that mean? So does everyone who's from this continent have rumors about giant flying islands?
Imagine
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that like are quite aware of the flying islands and the whole biome above the cloud. Sorry.
Yeah, so we just need a country full of people who are riding flying fish who can shapeshift into animals, or shapeshift into lizards.
What were you gonna say, Phil?
Oh, I just wanted to tell you that I really liked all of the stories so far. All of them are really different in a way, and I especially liked the one with the sword and the croaker, because like Bird, I didn't have any idea who I'm gonna play as, so I decided I'm gonna just go with some basic kid with a sword, you know, and it developed into really emotional and heartbreaking end. Yeah, and it was really intense with characters. So
Yeah,
it's
there
really
was some
cool.
really like cheesy scenes that went on with that, but they were so fucking good. Like just
Yeah.
pure
Yeah.
nerdom.
I love that. It's going to be so hard picking up Croker again, but I do want to do it at some point.
Oh, totally. But I can't remember
When you
what
actually
point.
re-listen.
I can't remember which point it was in that campaign, and it struck me though when it was a sword, because one of the very first players that I did this world with, when we first started building it, his initial quest was like to find this sword, this like demon sword, and at one point in that campaign, it just struck me like that's got to be the sword that you are. Like tying it right back to the very first fucking campaign that I did in this setting.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
And it's really good that we can pick up the old characters, you know, seeing Croker in action again, and Tact, Gildas, Jeff.
Can't forget
Jeff.
Jeff.
I fucking love Jack. Yeah.
I also like when we have things like Drax's character kind of like tying things together. Do you know what I mean? That's just really cool to have.
Yeah, especially because the Southern campaign with Drac at first wasn't really connected to like the main story at all,
Yeah,
but it's now become really connected with it.
yeah.
It's really cool.
Well, this is going to cement that since we've got two characters that were in that campaign now.
Mm.
The last thing I'm wondering with Fee is background. So I have monk, and then the second would be either gladiator or a veteran. I know he's somewhere around 18 years old, but he's seen many fights, so it could go either way.
Yeah, I would. If you want to go for like an overall background of his life so far, or if you want to just take it as like a more recent background for things that have happened recently to him.
Yeah, because for the last 2 years of his life, he's been in battle almost every day.
Yeah, and when you're 18, 2 years is a much longer period of time for you than someone who's older.
Yeah.
So it's
And
gonna.
the thing that struck me when I was reading some articles about medieval times, 16 up to 20th year of age, that was golden age for knights, right?
Well, typically you're like squired at like 12. So
I mean, a
Yeah,
lot
so
of them you were
already
like,
with 18 you were really trained swordsman.
yeah, because I think like
yeah,
16,
you're
were kind of
like
like,
knighted by like 16.
yeah, it's
So
like manhood. Yeah.
What's even life expectancy in the South Continent? 18 years, not bad.
Well, it depends where you are. I imagine Nightcross it's not high.
Well, as a human, it's probably not very good.
Well, it depends on like your resources, your connections and stuff. But yeah, for like general people, it's probably not high.
If you're in the Merilet or Omkeen or the Elven Kingdom on the Sire, I mean, you could expect. If you can get through your teenage years in one piece, you're probably going to live for quite a while. But that's sort of
Unless
getting
you're
up,
in like some
trying to make it to like kind of 2021 is the difficult bit. Those child mortality figures.
I was going to remember 120 years ago, the two most common deaths of women were childbirth and infections.
Yeah.
I found the
So-
perfect art for Sunderer. It even has the water fairy that made him evil.
Oh yeah, because he's got like the war paint. Yeah. It's very fun.
It needs the cursed axe.
Okay, well, I think we've kind of got everything down. Phil, you just send me that when you've got it wrapped up. And Bird, when you've kind of like hammered yours out a little bit, just shoot it over.
Yeah, will do.
And if there's any kind of
Interesting.
background stuff you want to go over to kind of tie into things, we can do that even at the start of the next session before we get into sort of intro scenes. I was thinking rather than doing the whole, you know, characters introducing themselves to each other, it'll be more like I'll do like montage scenes, or we'll do like roleplay scenes of kind of like, you know, Drac talking to the professor, meeting Shiki, you doing a kind of journey on the boat, and then coming into Nightcross and meeting people, and do the sort of scenes where, you know, Fee is coming out of the gladiator arena and being tended to, and when the Minotaur kind of absconds with them and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Just gonna quickly summarize how they appear.
Yeah, just going over a kind of like montage, a couple of scenes of just like introducing like the story so far with them, how they've ended up where we're kind of beginning. And then probably have the Minotaur like beating someone up in the Nightcross, and that's where everyone kind of meets.
I'll come in and try and negotiate a peaceful settlement.
Or just come up to him afterwards when he's wiping the blood off of his fist. And just going, hey, I got a job for you.
Hey, remember, I'm a pacifist. I don't like violence that's unjust and unruly.
Yeah, that's why you're hiring him. So he can do all
Yeah,
that
good
stuff
point.
for you.
It's like, oh, that could be a scene with Drac. It's like, talk about, it's like, Nightcross is a very dangerous area. We might need a little extra protection here.
Cut
And you
to-
just
See the big Minotaur just bludgeon a guy
It
dead.
just cuts to the scene of a guy like flying through the air and smashing into a bunch of wagons, and the Minotaur standing there around with a big bloody fist.
So you
You're
don't,
just like, perfect timing.
like you're hiring specifically the person you want protection against.
Exactly.
Yep.
Oh my god.
That's the thing. My character's almost always gonna have like a big smile on his face all the time. The only time it's not is when there's bugs because he's shit scared, or when he's like near slavers where he just can't smile very easily.
so you hire him and then you regret immediately after you find out that he was part of a slaving mercenary gang.
Well, I imagine that's
Oh no,
right.
if you probably why I hired you.
It's like, oh my god, he's
As long as you're not
disgusting.
running the
It's
slaving-
perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
Exactly. Like
I imagine
it's the exact
Drac-
kind of
Drac-
scum and villainy we need to survive in this area.
Drax just kind of like points to the Mentor and goes, that's the guy we need.
That's the guy you want.
And then you're like, I don't know why he's dragging this kid around with him.
It's not my problem, to be honest.
His job is to pick up the cannonballs after I throw them.
It's got like this one
And the
rag
goblin
that's all
chef.
bloody from wiping them on.
Don't forget the Goblin Chef.
Yeah, so Gwyn took the goblin who lied about being a chef and is actually an assassin.
Yeah, so I think we've got everything kind of covered. Just hit me up if you want to go
Yeah,
over
well,
anything
good.
before next week.
I think we got a good start going.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I have no doubt.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'll look at Master Fee here quick. So careful.
Slow and steady.
Always lucky, eh?
Lucky is my favorite ability.
Nah. I like going without lucky, just go all in.
Going with it lucky feels like you're really taking, like, your life in your hands.
Oh, I forgot to take pain as gain.
I like,
Yeah,
I like the rough start, man. It's good
I,
to...
I can't imagine a character without lucky. You know? It's always so good to have lucky, especially in those scenes where it's a matter of life or death.
Should really rename
Then you
it
have
plot
lucky.
armor.
Yeah, lucky has plot armor.
Easily distracted by female nudity / flesh. Because he's an 18-year-old boy.
He's 18-year-old boy. He grew up in a peaceful village, and yeah, he's not used to seeing female body.
I'll need to take. I will need to take Master Fee to the red light district. Because one of my goals is I've got to find my future partner, my future life partner. So it's like, come, time to take a trip. It's like,
Wait.
what? What do you mean trip?
Are you looking for your future life partner in the red light district?
They have plenty of experience.
You never know.
Well, I mean, you are a noble. Would you know any better, or is that the reason why you want to go there?
Well, I can imagine. It's like, hey, my cousin found theirs in the red light district.
I enjoy
Sometimes
syphilis.
experience matters.
I enjoy syphilis.
Hey, sometimes experience matters.
He's got the scars to prove it. Is Shiki quite a young character then as well?
Yeah, he's in his early. I think he's like 22, 23-ish.
Okay. Experienced enough,
Is
but
it-
just not wise.
Yeah, he's been through enough fights and stuff, but he's not like streetwise at this point. It's like
Yeah.
he's battle practiced, he's battle hardened, but not.
Yeah, and he's still not reached the point where he's got like the maturity of wisdom about it.
Yes, exactly. And because it's like, oh, you're 12 years old, you've summoned your first spirit. Okay, time to hunt your first demon.
Get out there, kid. You show him what's for.
Yes, it's the overzealous parenting and stuff, but it's just like not. Even though he's travelled, he's not wizened by it.
Alright, then I guess Rossler will have to be the responsible adult in this party.
Well, you're just sitting there grunting. Just
We'll
like,
make him
whatever.
We'll make him a relatively old Minotaur, but not old for Minotaurs. He'll just be 102.
Yeah, Drax's going to be the surrogate babysitter.
Oh god.
Damn it, why am I on this boat with all these kids?
Who
Just
talked me
saying
into
that-
this?
The Fae can get quite old.
But if you would
If
ever
Drac causes any problems, I can just seal him.
The Fae's like 75, which is like a teenager.
Imagine not even just a teenager, a young teenager, like
His life
13.
is something that matured him.
Oh yeah, for like the last 2 years, he'd probably be a lot more mature than he was before he got captured.
Oh yes, definitely. In the first campaign, he was naive, ambitious, full of dreams and hope.
Idealistic.
Now you're jaded and edgy.
Silent,
Oh, don't worry.
careful.
I'll bring him out of his shell.
Well, break your shell in the rigors of combat.
And I can imagine our spare time we're just like throwing each other around, losing a.
But you're just getting increasingly frustrated at him because he won't fight back.
Oh, neither of us fight. We just like as soon as someone tries to attack, we just like throw them and push them to the side. It's like we never fight directly. That's sort of the whole point.
No, I was talking about the two of you like sparring. I thought that's what you were
Yeah,
saying.
two sparring is like neither of us fight.
Yeah, so you just stand there. It's like an anime fight. You just stand there and like talk to each other.
No,
Imagine
we
your
stand.
next
We're
move.
like.
Never happens.
It looks like we're about to do a move. It's like we start moving and then we stop and then rearrange like we're about to do something else, but we never actually do anything. The two of us look like we're sort of like dancing but not moving much.
And with just constant inner monologues.
Exactly, because we know exactly what y'all's trying to do. It's like, you were going to do this, but I stopped you from that.
Literally just standing there. He has no opening.
I can picture it now.
Exactly.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Right, okay, I'm gonna get off now.
Alright, later.
Okay, cool.
I'll see you next week, guys.
Right, man. See you
See
soon.
ya.